You can hear it in the video right here. The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie."
This might just be the moment everything snapped. The WNBA is under fire, and fans are demanding answers. Rumors have been flying. Jacy Sheldon and Marina Mabrey both suspended after what many are calling a vicious, deliberate attack on the league's biggest star, Caitlin Clark, and eye poke, a body check, and for far too long, crickets. But now, suddenly, the commissioner is scrambling to take action. Is it because the fans spoke out or just a last-minute PR stunt? Either way, the league's reputation is hanging by a thread.
So lads, today the referees gave the report on the situation, and it's even worse. It's even worse than I imagined, and it was pretty grim. Like, it was a pretty grim over.
Let's rewind. Fourth quarter, game on the line. The Indiana Fever are pushing the pace, and Caitlin Clark is cutting through defenders like she always does. But then boom, out of nowhere Jacy Sheldon swipes and catches her straight in the eye. Clark immediately recoils, holding her face. This wasn't incidental contact. There was no attempt at the ball. It looked personal. But it doesn't end there. Instead of backing off, Sheldon bumps Clark again, chest to chest after the whistle. Clark does what any pro wish tries to create space. She's not looking for a fight. She's just trying to finish the game. Then comes the real shock. Marina Mabrey charges in, full momentum, and shoves Clark straight into the hardwood and into the referee. Clark goes down hard, stunned, and what does she get? A technical foul. Meanwhile, Mabrey stays in the game. No ejection, no protection.
How did you come up to the conclusion that it was unnecessary? There was a wind-up, and it was to the face. The three of them that is a flagrant 2. By definition, you've described a flagrant 2. Unnecessary contact. Wind-up and unnecessary. The two of those can be a flagrant 2. And face. You have described why was it a flagrant 2. You have just described a flagrant 2 as your answer for why it was upgraded to a flagrant 1. You have just described the flagrant 2. What went into deciding Marina Mabrey should get a technical foul instead of something more severe? The contact made by Mabrey did not rise to the level of an ejection. Additionally, it did not meet the criteria for flagrant penalty 2. Like, what exactly, did not rise to the level of an ejection? I'm sorry, what? Did she have to have, for it to be a level of an ejection, did she have to injure Caitlin? Or did she have to injure the referee? She almost went through the ref's knee. By the way,
it's crazy that, it's not actually crazy. It's not surprising, unfortunately, because the referees have been horrible this entire time. But somebody else who called out the referees and has not been afraid to call out the referees is Coach Stephanie White. So, think if this was LeBron in the NBA. Think if this was Steph Curry in the NBA. Do you really think that the NBA would be allowing certain players in the NBA to go after LeBron the way that Caitlin was chucked to the ground? Do you think if another player came up, blindsided LeBron, chucked him to the ground after he had just been poked in the eye, that the NBA would be like, oh yeah, technicals, nobody's ejected, just a common technical foul? That would never happen. It would never happen.
The referees completely lost control of the game. The league later admitted Sheldon had a full wind-up. Contact was unnecessary, excessive, and dangerous. That's the literal definition of a flagrant 2. So why did she get a flagrant 1? As for Mabrey, her post-whistle shove into a defenseless player still somehow wasn't enough for an ejection. According to the league, it didn't rise to that level. Seriously, what exactly does rise to that level? Hospitalization. To make it worse, Caitlin Clark, who just got assaulted, was the one who got slapped with a tech for reacting, for holding her face, for trying not to escalate. Make it make sense.
Because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the number one player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. she's going to stand up for her teammate, and that's what she did in that moment.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. Mm-hmm. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
Jacy Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabrey thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get out. I love it. I know people aren't going to like this. I like the Connecticut team doing what they did as well. Yeah. I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye.
Within minutes of the final whistle, footage went viral. Slow-mo eye pokes, freeze frame shoves, zoomed-in clips of the chaos. The internet was on fire, and not just Fever fans, the entire basketball world was watching. NBA players tweeted. Analysts called it out. Comment sections exploded. Why is nobody protecting Caitlin Clark? This wasn't the first time she's been targeted. She's been pushed, shoved, trash-talked, and knocked around all season. But this time, it was on full display and it hit different. That's when the league finally stepped in after the storm. Jacy Sheldon, suspended. Marina Mabrey, suspended. Fines handed out. But here's the question, would any of this have happened if fans hadn't blown it up? Or was this just another incident the WNBA was going to sweep under the rug until the pressure got too loud? While all this chaos was unfolding, where was WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert? Silent. No statement. No leadership. Not even when Clark was elbowed. Not when she hit the floor. Just silence until ESPN ran the replay on loop, and Protect Clark started trending. Then suddenly here comes Cathy. Now she's reviewing tape. Now she's making statements. Now suspensions are flying. It's not leadership, it's damage control, a reaction to media backlash, not a response to player safety. You want to know who did step up? Sophie Cunningham. Late in the game, she sent a clear message. She went right at Sheldon, physical, but clean. No dirty shot, no chaos, just, you mess with Caitlin, you mess with all of us. She got ejected for it, but honestly, she did what the refs and the league failed to do. She protected her teammate, and after that, nobody touched Clark again. That's leadership. This isn't about favoritism, this is about safety and respect. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the reason arenas are packed, ratings are up, and jerseys are selling out. She's growing the league, and yet, she's being treated like a punching bag. If this continues, what happens next? She has options. She doesn't need the WNBA as much as the WNBA needs her. If she walks away or if fans turn away, it's over. This whole thing is a turning point. A viral clip isn't just a highlight, it's a warning shot. Fans aren't dumb. The players see it too. So here's the question, are these suspensions a real step forward or just a PR bandage on a broken system? Because the clock's ticking, and if the league keeps letting things slide, they're not just risking their star, they're risking everything she built. Let me know what you think. Did the WNBA finally get it right, or is this just too little, too late? Drop a comment, like if you agree, and don't forget to subscribe. Because if this league really wants to grow, it needs to protect its stars, not after they've been hit, but before it's too late.